Good morning. It may be the 5th month of the year, but it's a very cold start. I had to scrape ice off the car before I set off this morning. The sun's up. It'll be popping its head over the horizon in due course. And for most people, when they wake up, there won't be any ice whatsoever on their car. But for me, there was. I didn't get home till very late last night. I'd been working at Connors Quay. I think I might need my glasses on here because I'm in a little bit of a tangle. No, I'm not. A football game. And by the time I got to bed, it was after midnight. But my body woke me up this morning and said, take me fishing. And you know what they say, always listen to your body. Yesterday I referred to the fact that we just said our final farewell to our dog Twinkle. Well, Roy, Richard and Tony all posted on my site yesterday. They've been there, they've had dogs, they know what it's like. Well, I have as well. That was my second Bedlington Terrier, and it is a painful experience on a personal level. I'm very much a person who doesn't dwell on these things. Initially, it's quite a horrible time, a sad time, but you have to move on. You have to, whether it's a person or a dog or anything, you have to move on. If not, you'll be living in the past, won't you, with hurts, and you look to the good times, the memories. And let's face it, you have to step back. And for those who've never had a dog, they say it's just a dog. For those who do, well, of course that's different, isn't it? But I've lost my father, my mother-in-law and my father-in-law all to cancer. So I know the pain of losing a person, and you do have to bring things into perspective. I share stuff because it's helpful. You know that other people go through these things, and other people have suffered the same experiences that you have, and that can be a positive influence as well. I can understand people who say, I'll never have another dog after going through that. We've had 2 Bedlingtons and we will have a third, because the ultimate pain of losing the dog, well, you have, in our case, 16 years of pleasure and great memories. And that's what you do with life, don't you? You can't dwell on hurts and things that come into your life that take away. You have to focus on the things that add to your life. And, well, I'm quite philosophical this morning. I'm not feeling tearful or anything, just you get over things, don't you? But I have just cast out, and I'm going to turn around now, and it'll be all about the fishing. I had a hook pull. The maggot had doubled on itself and masked the hook. I knew what it was a bream. And then the next cast, not saying it was the same fish of course, but they are shoal creatures. The next cast, within seconds of getting the bait out there, just caught this. So the chances are I'll probably add a few more to the tally. I'm fishing with a float rod, so it's a graze rod and a small Shimano reel, and the line is £4. That's Maxima Chameleon, and I've got a small float there. Great to watch a float go, isn't it? I do a lot of ledgering, but then recently I thought, fancy getting a float rod out, and I've enjoyed that ever since. It is nice, isn't it, watching a float disappear. And the hook length, about 5 feet of line there, loop to loop knot, and the business end size 18 Drennan Super Specialist, a single maggot. And that's the little shot that I often talk about on the canal, especially, although it's a still water. Nevertheless, there's often movement, not always when a boat comes through. When it does, you can't really fish with that just for a brief time. but there can sometimes be water movement anyway from the locks, depending on how close you are to it, of course. But that little shot, that makes sure that your bait stays on the deck. If that's where you're fishing, of course, you could be fishing up in the water. Pretty standard canals. You've got the near shelf, the far shelf, and the boat channel, because after all, they were dug out by hand all those years ago. And I'm on the Staffordshire Worcestershire Canal, by the way, today. So named because it passes through both counties. This is my last cast. I've caught bream today, just bream. In fact, when I get home, I'm pretty sure my wife will say to me, "Have you been catching bream?" She can smell them, because they are quite slimy creatures, aren't they? I've enjoyed it though. I'm bathed in sunshine now, and it's hard to imagine that just a couple of hours or so ago, I was scraping ice off the car. I said that would be my last cast. Well, just as I was saying that, the water started to move, a boat's coming through. So it's a good chance to pack away anyway. If you are out fishing yourself, or tomorrow because it's a bank holiday Monday, tight lines. I'll be working tomorrow and Tuesday. I'm down in Penabont on Tuesday. So quite busy at the moment work-wise. Also stuff around the house as well, but it will slow down a little bit in the middle of May, because I booked a couple of weeks off anyway. So after the last game of the season, I'm going to take a rest, no work for a couple of weeks. That's quite unusual actually. I'll probably end up doing a few things along the way, but it's football, so you balance that up as well, don't you? That boat's coming through. I do mention the little anchor shot. Well, the water's coming through and the boat might be going the other way, of course. I do mention the little anchor shot, but when the lock opens, well, even that tiny shot is just swept away by the water. Right, see you soon. And tight lines.